So, plucky Luton, no longer plucky. And the title decider around the corner. Welcome to Happy Old Reds. Did I freeze or did it just not do the thing?
No, it did it.
No, it's fine.
It was all fine. It's all fine.
Cool. I must have froze. Cool. I need to restart this PC. Evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. And welcome to, I keep calling it Happy Old Reds. It's hard to forget. It's just 7 in a row. 5 clean. Is it 4 or 5 clean sheets?
5.
5 clean sheets. I bet someone in the chat sad enough to know how many minutes that is. Or one of you lot? Do you lot?
No, someone
450 minutes.
No, 477 apparently.
It depends with injury time and stuff, isn't it?
Oh, I don't count it.
Hey, I hope you guys are well. Welcome to a quick summary of Plucky Luton because I don't really care about it. It's done. We're through. For those of you who don't know, we got Exeter away in the next round. That's a mission, man. That is a mission. They're 15th in League One. So Nicky might get another chance to see Miguel on the pitch. And yeah, the title decider, boys. 48 hours away.
Okay,
well, nervous. I'm getting nervous.
I'm just hoping that everybody's prepared for Milenkovic to miss that game.
Why?
What?
Because of what you got on the back of your...
No, the curse is broken. The curse.
Oh, you're an idiot, man. You literally made me poo.
The shirt curse is broken.
I thought you'd like had some ITK stuff there.
No, I just saw what was the back of Ben's head. That's why.
Yeah, he just moved his head.
On the back of his head.
It says COVID.
Anyway, let's get into it, guys. Please do remember, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Robert, becoming a new member. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, bro. And welcome back to Roberto after his suspension. Welcome back. How you feeling, Rob? How you feeling?
I've lost a whole week to winter flu. I don't recommend it to anybody. It's a whole week.
That's a week less than I lost. So,
did you lose any weight?
It's because I'm younger than you, Crypto.
Rob, I lost 5 kilograms, which is pretty good because I need to lose.
Unfortunately, I haven't lost any.
I need to lose about 50.
I was hoping there was going to be some upside, and it just hasn't materialized.
All right, I want to just do a quick summary on Luton, right? I just want to really talk about the players we saw there yesterday and whether or not you guys think any of them have made a stake to be in the first team or in the squad of a first team. In chat, get your thoughts on it as well. Ez, let's kick it off with you. Is there anyone in that team yesterday that isn't a regular in the first that you've looked at and thought, you know what, there's a shout for him?
Maybe not, but certainly for getting them some minutes in loan periods and stuff like that. The right back, I felt he did well. Overall, he did well, but there were spells where it was a little bit dodgy as well. But overall, I think the fact that they got, let's say it, minutes in their legs, mate, is more important than anything else from yesterday. And none of them got injured. No one really stood out for me. Sosa had some good spells. Jota had some good spells. But what really stood out actually yesterday was Yates. I thought Yates took the game by the scruff of the neck. And then you got Bolly. Now, Bolly is becoming a player that I don't want to see go. I don't know what the options are on the table in terms of extending his contract, but I think he still could be a key figure for Forest going forward for another season or two. So he's the one player that really stood out. Yates took the game by the scruff of the neck. After initially looking a bit, lost, he decided that, yeah, actually, I'm the senior player. I need to make a move and start getting his team moving forward. And I felt he played a real captain's performance yesterday. But the rest of them, I've got to say, I've said this before as well, there's a few of them that would they get into other teams around us? And I don't think they would. So I still think longer term, we haven't got enough strength and depth, but we certainly had enough for Plucky Luton yesterday, and sure, we'd have enough for Exeter going forward. So in a cup run, getting these players some minutes is important, but I'm looking longer term. I think some of these players need to be put out on loan, especially the right back, and given some regular minutes. But yeah, other than those two players that I've mentioned, Bolly and Yatesy, I think the others just did a job yesterday.
What I liked about yesterday is that it seems like even the so-called B team, should we call them, they all follow and they all obviously fall in line with the Nuno system. Because to me, it didn't look that different from how we played with our starting 11. We didn't go out there and get tons of possession. We still played counter-attacking football. I thought Sosa was brilliant. Sosa was my man of the match for me yesterday. That assist and that goal were just fantastic. And it was interesting watching Yates's interview afterwards, because he actually said that before the game, he said to Sosa and Callum Hudson-Odoi, I'm going to try and make some runs into the box. Can you get a ball in? So that ball was not just a ball into the center of the box. It was a specific ball trying to get it on Yates's head. So that is a properly class cross that he put in, and a great finish by Yates. And by the way, Yates's shot as well, if that had gone in, that would have been goal of the season. But I like how we can transfer between our A and B team and basically perform in the same way. I thought it was a little bit risky. I was a bit worried when all the forwards came on and Wood came on. And I'm sure we'll talk about Taiwo briefly as well. But I think something special is happening this season. To have your second lot of players play like that, I know it was against Luton, but to play like that in the same way that the first 11 do, I think Nuno has got this team completely drilled down to something special this season. So I would say watch out to people in the FA Cup and watch out to people at the top of the league.
Clearly, you watched my player ratings because you just copied what I said.
I mean, I agreed with a lot you said in your player ratings. Yeah, I thought James Ward-Prowse was great as well, which was interesting.
Set pieces.
Yeah, well, I mean, me and Wolfie were watching the same game. I'm not sure about some of the chat who said that Morata was only like an 8. Morata was fantastic.
He was immense. Sorry, yes, I missed him.
He was very good.
Man, you lot in the chat, for those of you that are in player ratings, there was some weird numbers coming out yesterday on Bolly and Morata and what have you, man. It was crazy. But did you want to see him and playing Morata yesterday? Do you think we could have done without him?
Well, he got through the game unscathed, so I'm glad that we saw him, and what we saw was absolutely immense. You know what I mean? Obviously, a Premier League player. I mean, the main thing for me last night is we didn't get any injuries. We can't take too much out of the game. I mean, a year ago, this is incredible, 18 months ago, whatever, we'd have been shitting ourselves playing Luton.
8 months ago, man, when we drew them on all the way.
We'd have been shitting ourselves. It would be so important. Can we do it? We struggle against them. Last night, we put out very much a second team, and there was nothing. It was easy. And that's how differently those two teams have gone. So I don't think you learn a lot by playing poor teams. I really don't. I mean, I think Man City won 8-0. Chelsea won 5-0. You know, there were a lot of teams that they're not very good. And Luton aren't very good.
Brentford lost, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Listen, we went to Blackpool and got hammered, right? Hammered. So it can happen. We know this. But that was never going to be the case last night. We have come so far that our second team, I mean, I think there's a bit of a debate. Would that second team survive in the Premier League? And I think it would. I think it would survive. I'm not saying they did great things, but I think it'd survive. There are enough good players there.
100%.
We should, that similar team should have beaten Newcastle in League Cup. We were the better team.
We
and
were
we
a bit
played
unfortunate against Newcastle. The way the match started. Yeah,
but that was they played a full strength. The point I'm making, they played a full strength team in that game, and we played a second string team,
and we could have easily won it.
Yeah,
Wolfie made a good point as well that
Thank you.
it was great. It was great for Nuno seeing like who's nearly there. Like for me yesterday, I'm now thinking, right, if Callum Hudson-Odoi needs to come off against Liverpool, I'm not worried because Sosa can come on and take his place. It was a great match for seeing.
Can I put a dampener on all this? You know, it was Luton. Sosa wasn't great last night. It was okay. He wasn't great.
It was Luton. It was Luton, but that partnership that finished the game, which is Morris and Adebayo, that was their partnership when they were in the Premier League.
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with Sosa. No, can I just say, I'm not knocking Sosa. You can only play well against teams that you're facing. So I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying, hang on. You've had a lot to say, Ben. Just hold your horses. I'm not saying that he can't, but doing it against Luton doesn't prove you can do it. You know, we've seen players like at Blackpool, etc. We've seen players come into the side and not even cope with what they're facing. Sosa coped with what he was facing. He had a good game. But I don't think he was fantastic. I didn't see anything
you can
brilliant.
see some of the standouts. Like you can see Morata is that level above, for example.
Morata, I would agree. He did look above everybody else, because he is.
They did test us defensively, and I wonder when someone's going to mention Carlos Miguel, who I thought had a very good game.
We're coming on to him. Let's just finish on Sosa, Rob, because I've just put a poll on. Were you impressed with Sosa? Honestly, it was so divided in the watch-along yesterday. But what was your take on? So Ant's saying average, Crypto saying next Messi. Where are you?
2 goal contributions.
Yeah, he had a good game, but nothing special.
Next is Junior.
Go on, Rob. Go on.
2 goal contributions. Can't argue with that. His cross for Yates was really nice. It was really nicely curved in, well weighted, and Yates put it in nicely. I think that both he and Jota showed that they're ready to come in if there's an injury or you want to make a change after 60, 65 minutes. I think they're of a level that they're ready to come in and deputise for the 2 first-choice starters. I mean, interesting that our top target, McAtee, scored a hat-trick for Man City yesterday, albeit against Salford. So you have to look at it in that context. Our wing has had a good game. He had a good game. Do we need to make another signing in that department? I don't know. I could go either way. But I think that I was as encouraged by Sosa and Jota yesterday as I was discouraged by Taiwo. I think that, he's showed it's all the more important that we do make a signing in that area.
Yeah.
Well, go on. Let's talk about Taiwo before we go on to Miguel then, Rob. Seeing that you started
Has he got no left foot? Because he was given an absolute... He was given an absolute sitter right in front of the keeper. And I was thinking, he's got to bury that, like either corner, roof of the net, whatever. And he does the most tame shot straight at Kaminsky. I was really disappointed. I was thinking if he follows on from his goal against Wolves and he scores that, then he's on a run. He could have resurrected his career there. But that was a sliding doors moment there. I mean, it was such a gilt-edged chance and he didn't put it away. I was really disappointed for him.
If that was in the Premier League, you can't not have that ruthlessness to get a goal there. Because if chances like that against better teams will only come a few times a match, and if he's going to pass a shot into the middle of the goal, then for me that he's not even second behind.
Ben and Rob, I agree with all that, and I'm not defending Taiwo. I'm just putting it out there that the guy has been injured for a long, long time. And I've seen players come back and it take them a while to get back to sharpness. I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying you do have to bear in mind that he's had a real lack of football in the last year.
I appreciate that. But if we want to crack on and try and get Champions League,
I agree.
If something happens to Wood, I was terrified when Wood came on because I know. I didn't want him on.
I agree.
If Wood got injured, that was season over for me.
All right, so are you not giving up on Taiwo? Because as you and me were kind of still holding on.
I said on the last pod that I've changed my mind. I had given up on him, but I've seen a little bit in a couple of sub appearances where he's put himself about and done quite well. And I'm prepared to, providing we bring in a striker to go into first or second position and Taiwo can be the third striker, I have no problem. What I don't want to do is rely on Taiwo being the second option after Chris Wood.
Well, just before I bring Ez into it, sorry, Ez, on the just to finish the Sosa one, 84% of you were impressed with Sosa. Where were you in the watch along yesterday? Interesting. And let me just catch up on the super chats. Sure. Andy with the £5 says, how good is it to be a Forest fan? Andy, it's always been good to be a Forest fan. It's just a lot less painful this season. That's how I'd summarize it. Thank you so much for the £5. And Rob, we've got one for you to read out here from a certain one Sebastian.
I bumped into Rob. He had just pawned his fridge, bought Texas barbecue Pringles and tzatziki, and was planning a quiet night watching Fort Boyard episodes.
Melinda Messenger.
Fort Boyard. Melinda Messenger, and Dirty Den as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Sebastian.
It was Dirty Den as well.
It wasn't
On
a
Channel 5 or something back in the day.
It was a
Dirty
Channel 5
Den.
flagship show, wasn't it?
You know what? I bumped into him on the train coming up to Nottingham back
What,
in the
Dirty
day.
Den?
Is that why you
Yeah.
played?
Huh? I didn't know who he was either because I didn't used to watch EastEnders back then. And he just had. Do you remember in the train that used to come up to Nottingham from London? The first carriage was the smoking one. Back in the day.
Oh, that is
And,
going back a while.
Yeah. So, but it was so crowded. I ended up in there, and everyone was surrounding this guy, and it was him. And he was just telling all these stories, and because of that, I started watching EastEnders to see what the fuss was about. And he wasn't even on it. So
He wasn't even on it.
Well,
anymore.
I was planning a quiet night in to watch Blockbusters, but that didn't happen.
you still don't know what that is. You still don't know what that is. Roy with the 16 months. Thank you so much, Roy. Anyway, let's get back to football. So on Taiwo, Taiwo, yes, we got them. We're coming on to Liverpool in a minute. Don't worry, go on. On Taiwo, go on. There's
Go on, a little bit of what Rob said as well, but he had a real opportunity yesterday to get himself, obviously, got a couple of goals. There were some opportunities for him. But like Ant was saying, you know, I mean, and you said, I've not written him off at any stage of a season, and I'm not going to write him off after yesterday either. You know, Taiwo will still play a part in this season, but like Ant said, we need stiffer competition for Wood. Pardon any puns in there, but we do.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be joking.
Just as I was saying it, just as it was coming out, I was like, "Oh God, I can't take it back now."
Don't
But
start the chat off, Ez.
we've all said it, and it's not changed from the summer. We need another striker in, so that doesn't change at all with Taiwo coming back into the fold. But again, he is at the moment he is our backup, so we do need to still keep giving him opportunities, giving him minutes, and hopefully he'll get a couple more goals. And I do still think he is one of those streaky players when he will get a few goals and he'll get on a bit of a run. So for now, we need him, I believe. And after yesterday, but it was a good opportunity for him to get a goal yesterday and didn't take it. Go on.
Is that good enough though? Is that what are we saying? Oh, we need.
No, it's not. But we said this. No, my point is, we said this from the summer. We need somebody else. We need another striker. And so that doesn't change anything. Yesterday's performance from Taiwo does not change that, does it? That is still the status quo. We still need another striker. So right now, all I'm saying is that after yesterday, that doesn't make any difference from my point of view as to how we treat Taiwo going forward. If we get a good enough offer for him, we should take it, but we should only take it if we've got a replacement coming in, and the replacement coming in has to be better than what we've already got.
awesome.
So,
or as you just said, as a bigger way of beating Wood.
yeah, but
Tumbleweed.
Can we move on now then?
Let's move on because there's loads of people calling Rob out, right? And the cheerleader of it is DJ Tone. Rob, do you now accept Sells is number one? I think is his finishing statement.
By a long way.
Yeah,
This needs a poll. This needs a poll.
I did weeks ago. But I mean, I think you're a bit revisionist about this because, as we know, he was our sixth choice goalkeeper when we were trying to find somebody to replace Turner. If you look at, he's another one like Chris Wood, arguably, who is currently playing the best football of his career, or Ola Aina, you know, somebody that is outperforming their history. So if you look back through Sells' career, he's got a lot of time in Belgium, a load of games for Strasbourg, where they were bottom of the league and he'd let more goals in than anybody else. There wasn't a lot to go on there, so he was a bit of a punt. But yeah, right now, he's arguably right now the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. So fair play to him.
But were you impressed with Miguel yesterday?
I was impressed with Miguel's shot stopping, not so much his kicking. But to be honest, you know my view on this. The moment that you start to select a goalkeeper on anything other than goalkeeping ability, then you're going to get somebody that isn't there to make the saves. So I was happy with Miguel yesterday. I thought he made a couple of really good reaction stops. He blocked that one where they nearly dribbled it in. He tipped one over the bar. He made a close range save later on. I thought he looked decent. I'm not saying that he should replace Sells. I think I was perfectly entitled to ask the question about 2 months ago when we'd had that run where we let in like 2 goals a game
Brighton.
for 5 games in a row, you know. But he's now on the back of 5 clean sheets. No, I wouldn't change him for the world. And you know, he's proven me wrong. But you yourself were doubtful about Sells' credentials.
It's proven a lot of us wrong, Rob. It's not just proving you wrong. It's proven a lot of. But I have to pull you up on one thing. We're not in the 1980s anymore, unfortunately. I wish we were.
Why?
Yeah, because being able to pass out from the back is now as important as being able to save goal. Not more important, but it is as important. You cannot afford to give the ball away 15 to 20 times in a game like that. You cannot do it. You look at all the top keepers, one thing they've all got in common is that they can play with their feet, because you have to be in the modern game. You have to. It's part of the setup. It's part of the formation. It must be done. You cannot have a goalkeeper that simply is shocking with his feet. And Carlos Miguel is shocking with his feet. Wait. Let me finish one little bit and then you can continue. Right. He will not play for a Premier League club. He will not. Nobody will have him with feet like that.
Right. And Sells is just clearing it long all the time, though.
Yes.
Sells isn't
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Passes it.
He doesn't.
He passes it. We brought up the stats last time.
No,
Yeah.
Hang on.
Why does Sells kicks from the back go to our players and Miguel's goes out of touch?
Yeah. And why is
I'm not seeing.
It's pure
I'm not seeing the evidence. What you're saying, it's now a requirement.
It's a requirement.
Premier League goalkeepers have to be able to play with their feet.
Joe Hart was the England goalkeeper.
City got
so
Sells a passer.
Are
you saying Sells is a passer?
He's not been asked to do that.
He is.
Yes, Wolfie.
It's cool under pressure, and he passes
Who's number one for long passes? Who's
100%.
number one for long passes from goalkeepers? Who's number one? It Sells for passes, not clearances like you were talking about earlier in the season. We had this discussion on the last show. The team and the players have
define a pass, Ez. Define a pass.
Yeah, but don't you think that's actually changed over the last 10 games, right? Because 10 games ago, you were all complaining about Sells kicking long because it was 90% going to opposition.
I wasn't. Rob, hang on a sec. To be fair, I wasn't making at the time a comparison of Sells and I went on to, but at the time I wasn't making a comparison of Sells and Miguel. I was saying to you that I believe your statement is wrong when you say it's not important, and you did say that. Don't come back and say you didn't. You said the number one.
No, I said
the number one. You said the number one priority is to say, of course it is, but you have to be able to play with your feet as well. It's not an either or.
End of the day, is
I don't know. Am I allowed to go now? Look, Sells kicking has improved, right? Or let's say the stats have improved. The completion rate has improved because once he.
So you're not answering my point then. You got on to another point, not answering my point. Because I said I didn't compare the two. I said you in the modern day you cannot have a
in terms of Miguel and his future development. I think that his kicking is something that can be fixed, right? I think what he showed yesterday is that he's a really good shot stopper and he covers his area well.
He did nothing different. He didn't make any great saves. He played well.
Well, actually, no.
Hang on, Rob. He played well. He made the saves that you would expect.
No, he tipped one over the bar from Walsh. Walsh had a 25.
It was an easy save.
It wasn't.
There's nothing spectacular about that. He had all the time in the world.
So Walsh, that shot that Walsh had was about the same spot.
Don't mention Luton players because I don't know any of them. Their names. So
the Luton man, the man in the white shirt, had a shot from pretty much the same position that Cunha scored against Sells. Right?
It wasn't Cunha.
Right. Okay.
Fair enough. And Miguel tipped over.
Look. Let's make this simple. Everyone's in agreement. Sells is number one. Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's move on.
6% aren't.
94% are saying Sells. Yeah.
Nicky's
voting on his Smurf accounts.
So someone in the chat made me laugh. They said, "Don't change a winning team against Liverpool."
So we know we've got Nicky and Rob voting. Who are the other few?
My only question on this subject is Sells worried about his place with Miguel behind him?
No,
I think he is, right? So that to me tells me that whether we do it in January, whether we do it in the summer, we need another goalkeeper in. That's what I'm saying.
I think
Oh, no.
I'll give some praise to Miguel, because otherwise Nicky will be crying himself to sleep tonight. I thought, look, there's a few double standards here, because Ant's just said that how can we say Taiwo should come out and have a great game when he doesn't get any game time? Carlos Miguel gets no game time. He's played, what, 1 game this season? So for him to come in and get a clean sheet like that and make some of the saves he did yesterday, I think he did all right.
What's this? Some of the saves. He made bog average normal goalkeeping saves.
I agree.
He
really arguing about
range. He tipped one over the bar. He did all right for a second
He
game.
did okay, yes. He made saves he should have made. That's mine and Ant's point on this. He's made saves he should have saved. He's not done anything spectacular.
All right, we're moving on. We're moving on.
A team at the bottom of the championship.
That's it. Stop.
Carry on.
My God, it was meant to be a simple. It was meant to be a simple discussion, and you don't want to measure on it. It's just ridiculous. And by the way, Sales does not pass the ball out. He kicks it long. The difference is he kicks it long into the pitch, whereas Miguel, he was kicking it out of the pitch. Let's move on. Right. Let's get on to the Liverpool game, because this is where the fun starts. Okay. This is it. This really is a title decider. Whether Ant wants to think it or not, if it's must win or not, it is. You don't have right of response on that yet, Ant. So just hold your thoughts there.
I'm not gonna.
All right, good. All right, I'm gonna kick this off with Ben. How are you feeling looking ahead to Tuesday? Liverpool were comfortable in the. I can't remember who they played yesterday.
It doesn't matter, because Ben's going to say we're going to hammer him anyway. Because I've seen a week what Ben's been saying.
Accrington and Stanley. Who are they?
I was at Accrington and Stanley, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Stanley, yeah.
I legit can't remember. Was it 3-0, 2-0, something like that?
4-0, I think it was.
4-0. Okay. So both teams are coming in, Ben. Teams both rotated, pretty fresh. However, Liverpool shaky in the league in their last couple of games. How you seeing this one?
I mean, you're not going to like what I'm going to say, because I predict that Forest win every game basically, and I'm usually right. I think we're going to lose. I've got a bad feeling about it.
Why did you get him first?
Because yes, Liverpool aren't doing as good as they were. They're not as consistent. There looks like there's a bit of frustration between Trent Alexander-Arnold, who thinks he's going to Real Madrid, and Van Dijk at the back. But I don't know. I've just got a feeling. I don't know why. I've got a feeling that we're going to go out there. We're not going to get hammered, but I've got a feeling Arne Slot's going to find us out a bit on our counter-attacking tactics. And I think we're going to lose. And I've never predicted Forest to lose in my life, so it's the first time in 30 years.
You predicted when we played them at Anfield would lose.
Once when we lost 2-0. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I'm really worried. I think we're going to lose, and it is a title decider. It's a must-win.
Oh my God!
As a counteract, Mr. Negative,
I'm gonna take. I was gonna actually put some praise towards Crypto and people of his generation, but I'm gonna take it all back, because I was gonna ask him a question: is this the biggest game that you've ever seen Forest play? Because it should be
playoff finals, sure.
Yeah, but we're already in the Premier League. The whole point of a playoff final was to get in the Premier League, win the Premier League, mate. So that's bigger than a playoff final. So I don't any game in the Premier League is bigger than a playoff final, surely, by virtue. Anyway, so this should be one of the biggest games in their history from following Forest. Now, when I started following Forest, we were in the top flight. We were getting to cup finals. So I had a team to follow, even though none of my mates around me were following us. I had a team to follow. So I had a renewed respect for the likes of Sai and the guys in the chat, Martin, who've never really seen us in the top flight or do anything.
Could you imagine being in that generation? Like, watching that crap as your opening football. Oh, man, you got to respect my generation.
You've lived through that, and now you've got to this. This should be coming towards the pinnacle of what you've seen Forest achieve. And for me, Tuesday's massive. But I'm more on the point of this overhype of everyone, all these punters, and whether it's the mainstream media or whatever, they are changing the tune slightly, but they've all kind of handed the title to Liverpool already. And these are the most serial bottlers of all bottlers, right? Christmas just gone. That's the 7th time they've been leading the Premier League. How many times have they won it? They've won it once. Once they've won it. They're not as, Arsenal are called bottlers, but Arsenal it's because it's more recency bias. But saying that Arsenal are worse because they've led the Premier League 4 times at Christmas and never gone on to win it. So they are butlers in their own sense. But Liverpool, 6 times up until now, and they've won it once. So everyone handing them the title. I said this last time, there's no other team I'd rather be chasing down other than probably Tottenham. There's no other team I'd be chasing down for this Premier League title. And as far as I'm concerned, 3 points against them on Tuesday, and the title is wide open. It's wide open. So I think they've already on their wobble. You said he seemed to rest some players, but Trent got a good hour yesterday. But certain other players got minutes yesterday, so he didn't make wholesale changes. And bear in mind they played Tottenham in the cup as well, so they've had a few more games, a few more minutes than us. But either way, we're at home. That atmosphere. I was trying to think back to the atmospheres that I've witnessed since we got promoted. The best one had to be probably after the Arsenal game, after we secured safety. But the West Ham game starting that season was unbelievable. I've never been to a game where we sang literally all the way through. The fans did not stop singing in that first home game. Tuesday is going to be similar, if not even better, because it's under the light. So
as long as they sort out Upper freaking Bridgeford, mate.
Well, we should have touched on that, and maybe we will do that for sure. But there was absolute carnage yesterday for people trying to get into the stadium, and the club really needs to address that and come out and make some statement about it, because it was absolutely.
They did. Their statement was pathetic.
But it wasn't good enough, was it?
Yeah.
It wasn't good enough.
The worst thing about it, in my opinion, is that there was no reason they couldn't have let those people in and stood in the concourse where it's, inside it's warmer, there are toilets, food, drinks. But no, they left them outside the turnstile. That is disgraceful.
No excuse.
In that weather as well.
In that weather, kids there, little boys and girls, there's no reason for it.
I know we're slightly pivoting, but was there anyone in the chat who was in that queue, as in the Upper yesterday? I just want to know what the communication level into that queue was.
I've been told there was none. That's what I've been told. There was none.
I'm sorry, that's poor. In a season where Forest haven't got anything wrong, that for me is one of the first.
The thing is, as well,
why not just let them in onto the concourse?
It wasn't that much better last time. I mean, I was in the Brian Clough stand for the last FA Cup match, and we were 10 minutes late into the ground. We were queuing for like 45 minutes to get through the turnstiles. So I know some people said people should turn up earlier, but it was just carnage.
No, it's because they hadn't de-iced it, or they hadn't done the de-icing properly.
Oh, but this was before. There was just too many people, I think. Like they just,
that you can almost like say, okay, people turned up late. This one, you're talking about incompetency, really, from the club in terms of
and neglect and inconsideration. Why not think? If Brian Clough was there, I'm telling you, those kids would have been inside that stadium. And I know that because I once queued up with my wife and child to get Brian Clough to sign his book at Waterstones, and we were about 150 yards away in the queue, and it started to rain. So Brian Clough sent the stewards out to come and fetch anybody with a child straight in because it started to rain. So he would not let those. If he'd have heard that they were standing outside in the freezing cold, he'd have said, "Right, get them in." You know what I mean? It's pathetic. Who's making that decision?
Just going back to Liverpool, Forest Lions made a really good point here, because Morato's obviously just played 90 minutes effectively. So does that mean that we're going 4 at the back against Liverpool?
Yeah. Well, firstly, thank you, Lions, for the 199.
Dan and Moreno playing the full game, it kind of signals that we are going to play the exact starting 11 we had against Wolves, which it makes perfect sense, but I'm just a little bit disappointed it's been telegraphed that much. I would have liked to go into it with a little more tactical ambiguity than that. Having said that, he may decide Morato's young and fit and can play 2 games in 4 days. I would have personally wanted to play the 3-4-3 in this game, but I think he's just decided now that the 4-2-3-1 with Dominguez and Anderson in the middle is the strongest lineup. And it's hard to argue with that because it's just won 6 in a row. In terms of the Liverpool game itself, shall I have my go now? Which is
the reason I've come to you and Ant last is because Spurs. With all
Right.
due respect, you're of
But-
the older generation
Yeah,
that probably dislikes Liverpool more. So I'm keen to get your two's opinions.
This is the first Liverpool home game I'm going to in the modern era, right? I went to a lot in the old days. I was there when Sheringham scored and we beat them 1-0, first ever game in the Premier League. This is a fixture we always used to win, right? I was there when Collymore came back and he was booed and we beat them 1-0 and Steve Stone.
He got substituted. Don't
Yeah,
forget
and
that.
Steve Stone scored. So this is not remember, the part of the reason that Ant and I lost our shit back in, was it April, was that was a game that we had not lost for 30
I'd never seen us
years.
lose. I'd never seen us lose that game. Yeah.
So this is I think this is a game where Liverpool really have nothing to gain and everything to lose, right? Because they are expected to win. And no one's expecting anything from us. And the good thing is we've already beat them at their ground, right? So we can have a right old go at them. And we don't have to get upset about losing the streak now because we lost at home to them last year. What does it matter? We've completely cleaned that off by winning at Anfield, right? So I think it's going to be a cagey old game. But I think the way it's going to play out, my personal expectation is it might play out a little bit like that game we had against Spurs. I think we go 1-0 up and then we protect the lead and we just win 1-0, just like in the old days. And I do think Liverpool are bottlers, but I think just the whole sort of dynamic of this game is that all the pressure is on them. And are we in a title race? Well, if we win this, we're in a title race. So therefore, we're in a title race. We're in one now. So I'm optimistic. I'm looking forward to this, and I'm not thinking any fear at all. And you know what? If Forest lose 2-1, it doesn't matter. We're in the Champions League spots. And once this is out the way, this is kind of our hardest remaining game out the way as well. It's all uphill from here, or downhill.
Downhill.
Yeah.
Well, just before I got one more question to ask you, Rob, before I come on to Ant. I'm just looking at the likes. We're on 136 and we got nearly 550 in here. Yeah, take a quick second, pay your rent, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed if you're new as well. Shout out to Bru-C in the chat. He's still crying about every time Forest win. But Rob, do you hate Liverpool?
I don't like them, but I don't want to be clipped or beaten up at the ground. So I'll just say that they're not my favourite team.
I'm Forest fans.
I don't like the attitude of their supporters, and I never have.
And that Humpty Dumpty looking fuck, Arne Slot. He's a
we're coming on to him. Don't worry.
We're not having Jeff, no. Come on.
Obviously, they are a massive club, and you could argue they're a bigger club than Man United. I don't think anyone's ever taken that away from them. But I feel that they've always benefited from refereeing decisions. I feel like they've always got something to complain about. And this is another thing. I don't think anybody else likes them either. I think a lot of people are going to be watching that game, and the whole country is going to be behind Forest.
I was going to be my point. You stole my point, man.
Yeah,
I think you will be backing up.
Yeah, all right. I'm not providing a clip for them, but I don't like them.
I hate them. I'll quite brazenly say I hate them. They're
I mean, the thing is,
that I hate.
Like take Man United. I don't like Man United because all the fans are from London, right? But I don't like Liverpool because the fans are from Liverpool, if that makes any sense.
That don't make any sense.
Not where I lived, mate. There were all Liverpool fans around me, mate. That's one of the reasons I hate them. But also the victim blaming, all this rubbish. You know all those chants that we can't sing anymore, can't we? So we can't sing, we won't be able to sing things like same old Scousers cheating. Can't sing that. You can't sing things like that. So the victim blaming, the way they're the only ones who've suffered, and nobody else has suffered. I'm sick of them. They got
us banned from Europe.
They got us banned from Europe. I think inadvertently led to obviously the financial trouble that we had in the early 1990s.
Oh, it did. It definitely did.
Which led to us being relegated. So I've got no sympathy for Liverpool, really, mate. I hate them, and I would love it. I would love it if we beat them.
Now I'm on this subject, and they've always had a habit of buying our best players and then saying that they're shit. So I hope we never sell them anyone again.
More,
Yeah. Honestly, That they
Peter
always felt they were
Peter Cormack did well for them when he went from Forest.
They've always felt like they were entitled to sign our best players and then say that they were crap. In that case, don't buy them. We should never sell anyone to Liverpool.
Oh, well, I'm gonna move on to Ant on this one, but I'm gonna put a poll out. Do you hate Liverpool? And what I mean by that, is it your number one hate team? Obviously, just take Derby aside. I'm talking like, let's call it Premier League teams. Are they your number one hate team? They're not for me. But Ant, what's your take on Liverpool?
Yeah. You know what? You mentioned Derby. I don't even think of Derby anymore. I don't hate Derby. I don't think they don't exist.
They're irrelevant. Exactly.
Irrelevant. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, my relationship with Liverpool goes back a lot further than anybody else. And I was a young, impressionable boy. A young, impressionable boy growing up. And I went to Anfield for the second leg of the European Cup that we won. We drew the game and went through, knocking Liverpool, the current champions, out. And I was faced with about 6,000 Scousers wanted to kill me. So my memories of them are tinted by violence, very, very bad violence. I had a friend who got his head kicked in the car park at a different Liverpool match because they were bastards. Now, I don't hate them as much now as I used to, because obviously 40 years is a long time. You do, a little bit until I see them doing well. And then I'm hearing the same things, the same entitlement that I used to hear when I was a kid. That's perhaps just YouTubers. Not all Liverpool fans are like that, I'm quite sure. So my disdain, I don't like using the word hate, if I'm honest, but my disdain for Liverpool stems back from those days of the late 70s, early 80s, when football was crazy anyway, and everybody was fighting with everybody else. And we were the main challengers to them at that time for a few years, and they were the main challengers to us. And we generally came out on top, as we all know. But that rivalry was a real rivalry. And it was backed up by hatred and violence and nasty stuff going on. So mine is very deep.
Do you remember when Brian Laws scored an own goal in the FA Cup semi-final?
Yes, John Aldridge
ruffled his hair.
Yeah. And also,
exactly what Gary's
this is a bit
saying,
controversial, right? But Forest fans, and I'm not going to go on, I'll be very quick, I promise, but Forest fans suffered just as much as Liverpool fans at Hillsborough. I was there. And trust me, I didn't know whether those people were from Liverpool, London, Nottingham, or wherever. They were dead people on the pitch, right? So it affected me just as much as any Liverpool fans. We got no sympathy, nothing for Forest fans. And the worst thing of all is when they did the replay, which they should not have done, would not be done nowadays. But when we went to the replay, Forest fans were all, sympathetic, obviously, and everything. The game started. The first song they sung was "We Ain't Nottingham Forest." That was it. That I thought, you fucking scum. So that was it. Now I have to say something about Newcastle, but I won't go on too long about Newcastle.
Not only that,
what they did in '74.
Not only that replay.
Hang on, the current Liverpool fans obviously were nothing to do with that. So it's unfair. It would be unfair of me to hold it against current Liverpool fans.
That replay as well. It was like we were expected to lose that as some kind.
Yeah, let's not go on about it because it makes me feel.
I know, but they were talking about the right result. It was the right result. I know. Who was it that said that? Was it Aldridge that said that as well? It was the right result.
The whole country was saying it. The newspapers were full of it. If there's any justice in the word, Liverpool will win it. No.
Because of what? Something we did.
There's nothing wrong that day. I'm not blaming. I'm not going to come on here and cause controversy by putting the blame on anybody. But I'll tell you something. Our fans were totally blameless.
Yeah.
I've been there an hour and a half before the game.
Let's skip forward 35 years.
And just by the way, right, when I say the word hate in the poll, doesn't mean you want to kill them or see harm to them, right? Can we stop with the wokery? Like, you're talking about teams you dislike.
I don't like makes people. Hate, though,
but you know, it's not in the sense of the word hate. It's like I hate Man U. You know what I mean?
I hate Man U.
Yeah, but I hate them in the footballing term hate.
I hate Man U now, and I'm going to use the word hate because that's what we're doing. Yeah, I'll step back and come in from a different angle. I hate Man U now far more than I hate Liverpool because Liverpool was a long time ago. But Man U, we've all grown through the Man U era and how horrible that was. You know, and
yeah, but I have to, and I'm sorry, I have to say, I'm getting sick of this wokery in football. I really am. It's just like, oh, you can't say you hate a club. I hate Man U. I hate them. I hate Derby. I hate Sheffield. I hate these clubs, right? I don't wish ill on them. I just detest them.
Oh, you
It's
do.
like,
You do wish ill on them.
I don't wish them to like be nuked
You want
or
to get
something. I would
relegated,
like
don't
them
you?
relegated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's wishing ill on them, then, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, that's
Nothing
funny
wrong with that.
to me.
Nothing wrong with that. I hate it. And I'm with you, Wolfie. I hate it when people say somebody's got injured. You wouldn't want that to their best player. Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
If we're playing Liverpool, I want Salah to pull up with a hamstring next tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And yet you're not. Oh, you can't say
you're not allowed to say that. Oh, what? You want someone injured? You want someone injured? Yeah. Injuries happen all the time.
I'm not saying I want it to be life-threatening, but just enough to miss the game.
Exactly. Exactly. I can tell you now, you ain't never gonna get the wokery on this channel, right? I'm sorry, I'm not having it. If people are gonna convince me that I haven't heard worse at the City ground than what gets said, you know, I'm sorry.
Man, these people, you know what? I'd love to take these woke people and drop them into the 1980s football crowd and watch their face with the songs
in the early 2000s. Don't go that far back. Put them in the early 2000s, man. Seriously. Seriously.
Whenever the opposition used to, I'll let you know, guys, people in the chat, youngsters, whenever the opposition used to score, immediately, within a billionth of a second, you're going to get your fucking heads kicked in. That was the song. Yeah. AGR, AGRO, aggro. That was football in those days. It was tough.
Anyway. All right. So well, Tricky Mickey did.
Tricky Mickey trolling.
He is a Forest fan, don't worry. Okay, let's talk about the games.
We get.
That's what gets sung. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah. Quick shout out to Jay becoming a new member, absolute legend. And Andrew with the £2 says, "Evening, guys. Hope you are all well." I'm nervous. I don't know. I can't speak on behalf of the other boys, but I am getting nervous.
I was doing so well being all quiet and meek and mild, and I've got to ruin it all.
I just had to say,
you didn't get to the watershed yet.
Right. I think I might be doing a stream at 10 p.m. A co-stream with Liverpool preview tonight, just for a bit of extra stuff for you guys. I'm still trying to organize it because there's a lot to cram in before the game. It's kind of annoying that there's only 3 days between the game. I feel this title decider needs a good week's build up, but it is what it is. So, you know, we're going to have to cram in as much as we can. So let's get
I got to admit though, Wolfie, when we went up to Anfield for the awards, it was pretty impressive. That stadium was.
That stadium was. It was stunning. There's no other word to describe.
It used to be terrible, you know. You used to think, God, these are European champions, and look at it. But now it's impressive.
Do you remember when we were walking down to Anfield, and Ant was like, "You guys have to come here. We had to walk all the way back down the stairs." And he's like, "Look at this picture." And we're like,
mosaics with a
mosaic.
Photos.
Yeah.
My God, man, it was so boring, and
it was fantastic, wasn't it? That picture.
It was a sight to behold.
Photographs.
But we were freezing. I think that was the only complaint.
It was freezing, man, and raining, right? And that's trying to show us this mosaic picture that is made up of all these little pixels.
You can bring people to culture, but you can't put the culture in people, can you?
Honestly, but it is
Liverpool and culture in the same sentence, would you?
Well, they're the capital culture, aren't they? All right, let's start talking tactics. We're on 190 likes, 560 in here. Get it down here. We should be at 250 by now, so at the very least 200. Joel, thank you for becoming a member. You're absolute legend and supporting the channel. All right, I want to talk about the tactics, and it's something that someone mentioned in the chat earlier about Morata starting and playing the full game last game. 3 or 4 back. That's our next debate. Crypto, kick us off on it. What's your feeling on it?
I mean, I personally would have gone a 5 back. So depending on Morato's fitness, I mean, he's only, what is he, 23? I'm sure he looks like a young, strong lad. So he can probably put another 70, 80 minutes in. I'd probably have to go 5 at the back with the 3 M's across the back, and then obviously Williams and Aina. I've seen some people say in the chat, why not start Moreno, because he had Salah in his pocket last time. But for me, he's missed out on too many games recently. I think Nico Williams at the moment is the better player. And I think Williams as well, to be fair to him, is probably one of the most improved players this season, maybe alongside
100%.
Yates. So I'd go with that 5 back. And then in the middle, I'm trying to think how many spaces I've got now. I'd go MGW, Anderson, and probably MGW, Anderson. So I'd probably do like a 5-4-1, almost like a Christmas tree formation. What we did last time to beat them, basically. So
we didn't. We went 4-3-2.
Yeah, we didn't do
like that.
5-3-1.
I thought it was a Christmas tree formation. Anyway,
It
so I'd
is.
probably go
Christmas
Callum
tree
Hudson.
formations for at the back, mate.
Yeah, Callum Hudson,
Yeah,
Odoi,
4-3-2-1.
MGW, Anderson, Alanga, and then obviously Wood up front. So it's almost like a 5-4-1 kind of. And Anderson and MGW can interchange in between the kind of 6 and the 8, or the 8 and the 10, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that for me would be my preferred formation. But I put full trust in Nuno as to what he's been, thinking into. I'm sure he's been watching them lately and seeing how we can beat them. And he may want to do something completely different just so that they don't try and figure us out. Because obviously he has his preferred formations. Maybe I'll do something completely different. But for me, I'd have the 3 M's at the back.
Well, what you're saying is, like, the chat said 56% are going with a back 3, 44 with a back 4. Where are you on it?
You know what? It's going to be the boring answer, but kind of what Crypto touched on. Trust in Nuno, to be honest. And I would go back 4.
Yeah, we get that. That's a given, man. But we want your opinion.
So back 4 for me, because I think we're going to actually go out there to actually prove a point on Tuesday, not just contain. We will contain them, but we've seen we can contain them. We can catch teams on the counter attack, and it's become like more, not mechanical, but more fluid in the last few games. I was there sat with Ant watching against the Spurs game, and I knew as soon as we got that break, I was saying, this is the one we're going to score now. You can see the patterns in play, and so I don't want to take that away, and I think we're stronger when we play 4 at the back with that. And look at the players that we've got, Like Crypto says, alluded to. Nico Williams, for me, I've said one of the first names on the team sheet, and that first season when we did beat them at home, he marked Salah out of the game. Salah had to go central to try and get away from him. So he had a great game against him then. We know he can perform. I've got no qualms about him. But back to, you can bring Morato on, you can bring Bolly on as well. You've got plenty of opportunity from the bench. But I think we need to go on the front foot. I think we need to get the goal in the first half, ideally, and then maybe we switch to a back 3 in the second half. But I would start on the front foot with a back 4 against Liverpool on Tuesday, without a doubt.
What are you saying, Rob?
Marginally agree. I think the 2 decisions are Moreno versus Williams and Dominguez versus Morato. And I think Nuno has put his cards on the table in terms of giving Moreno and Morato full games yesterday. But it could be an elaborate bluff. So we know that Nuno likes to play these little mind games, which is why he gives nothing away in the press previews. He won't say who's fit, who's injured, anything like that. So it could be an elaborate bluff. The Moreno had an outstanding game at Anfield where he marked Salah out of the game. That said, he, like Crypto says, he's just not played enough recently. And yesterday, he didn't seem that great, if I'm honest. Williams' improvement has mainly been in an attacking sense. I'm still not sure about his credentials to mark somebody like Salah out of the game. But having said that, it is Liverpool, his old club. He's going to raise his game. And I think he's done enough to sort of earn the chance, even if he isn't necessarily the right choice, if that makes any sense. And in terms of whether you play 3 central defenders or 2, I think there's something to be said for the back 4, because then it's clear that the fullbacks, their job is to mark the wingers. My concern with having 3 centre-backs and having wing backs is that almost creates a little bit of a gap of like, who's supposed to pick up that runner? Is it the left centre-back or the wing back? Do you know what I mean? Whereas at least the responsibility is a bit clearer in a back 4. So I think you start with the 4-2-3-1. you try and go a goal up, and then you don't hang about and bring in Morata on and just locking it down.
Before I come to you, Ant, massive shout out to Jay with the £10. Says, value your contributions, all your contributions, including Ant's. No, he didn't say that end bit. I just added that. Thank you so much, Jay, for your generosity.
Even Ant.
Even Ant, yeah. So even Ant, what are you saying, mate? And I want to throw in an additional question to you, because we haven't spoken about the return of Danilo.
Oh, you know what? My God, you must be a mind reader. Because I was literally going to say, well, before we go on, we've forgotten what was for me the highlight
We've
of
been doing this too long, Anne. We've been doing this too long.
Honestly, mate, I was sitting there thinking, as soon as it comes to me, I'm gonna spit this out. The highlight for me was my boy Danilo coming back last night, and didn't he look good? Didn't he look sharp?
Yeah.
No fear, went into tackles. I'm not saying he's ready to start, from the beginning yet, but he's a good player to have on our bench, isn't he? So yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled, and hopefully it is a full recovery. There's no sometimes it comes back or whatever. He looked good last night, and he looked so happy. So yeah, and the reception he got from the City ground was astonishing. I don't think I've heard another player get quite that sort of reception after being out for so long. So yeah, delighted. Regarding formation,
would you start him though?
No.
After that
no,
pick up, after that pick up.
Yeah, he's had less than 10 minutes, hasn't he?
Yeah, I've been fair on players like Anderson, who's probably his main
exactly that as well. Yeah. He's just a great player to have. Yeah, he is like a new signing. Literally. He is a great player to have back in the fold and available. Fantastic. It'll be good for us going forward, can't it? As long as we get that striker.
One sec. Hold on, man.
What's that
How do I
noise?
do this?
Oh, it's Bru-C.
Hey! Wait, hold on, Bru-C, 1 sec.
All right, go 6 man.
How
We got
we
this,
doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate. Hold on.
You can hear you guys.
Yo,
screen,
what's
bro,
up,
it's good
Bru-C?
What's going
Chat,
on,
say hi
lads?
to the
How we doing?
Bru-C.
Yeah, man. What's going on, boys? Happy New Year and all that.
Happy New Year, bud.
7 on the fucking trot. No,
He's
it's
right.
getting mad.
He's right,
It's
you know.
getting mad. It's getting mad. I can't wait for Tuesday. What the fuck?
Are you
is
going to
this?
be
Sorry,
there, aren't
Nelly,
you?
Nelly at a Deliveroo driver then. Jesus Christ. These guys on the bikes. No
Bruce,
prisoners.
you're going to be there on Tuesday, yeah?
I'm there on Tuesday, mate. I'm there.
gonna-
I'm going to be making noise. It's going to be, I feel like it's going to be historical, man. Regardless of
I
the result
agree.
as well,
I
it's
agree
gonna
with you,
be-
bro.
It's going to be monumental.
Are you in the posh seats?
Nah, mate. I'm up at Bridgeford, above the away
Oh,
fans.
if you can get in.
What was that?
It's not snowing.
I
I'll be
can't
there,
get the
guys,
fucking
alright?
layout right.
Fucking hell, I
God.
didn't come in here to get loads of shit from you lot, alright?
Where'd you normally go?
Bruce, we haven't had you on for a while, mate. How are you feeling about the season? I'll take the piss out of you crying every time you leave me a
Yeah, I was
message,
gonna
mate.
say you've been
What you
getting my
saying?
emotional voice notes, mate. Like it's unreal. It's a dream, mate. But at the same time, it's kind of like it feels right. Like it doesn't feel out of place. I think we've been building for this, and it's here, and it's a shock. But at the same time, when you've seen the way we were playing the last couple of seasons, there were so many games, even. And I don't even want to talk about Cooper with Wolfie because I know what I'm going to get. But even when
I'm still
we
waiting
had
for my
Cooper,
apology, mate.
even when we had Cooper, there was games that we threw away with silly mistakes. We played so well, so many times. So many big teams came to the City ground and struggled. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
man. As much as it's like, wow, this is happening, and I think the good thing for me is like the amount of people that I've got just constantly DMing me because I'm a Forest fan, and I'm like, there's not many like artists that rep Forest like I do. So every DJ, every time we win, I'm getting, usually it's when we lose, everyone's taking a piss, but every time we win, I'm getting more and more people messaging me like, every time we win, every time you guys win, I'm thinking of you at home crying or at the games or whatever. So yeah, man, it's sick, but it feels right, man. It feels right.
Brucey, is this the biggest game since we got promoted?
Yeah, 100%.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And look, the City ground's going to be rocking. I feel like the whole of the footballing world that watch the Premier League week in, week out are going to be tuned in on Tuesday night because it's special, man. You know, everybody wants to see the underdog do well. Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people will be rooting for Forest as well.
I agree. I think the neutrals will be rooting for us, mate.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we win it, Bru-C? What are you saying?
I think we could. I agree. Whoever said it will be similar to the Tottenham game. I think if we defend like we have been, we could. I do think, as much as I like Nico Williams this season, I agree with what was just said a minute ago. He's been so good going forward, but I've got a feeling Salah could cook him, and I think Moreno has got more. Even though he hasn't played last few games, and obviously I don't know what's been going on there. To be honest, I've been back in studio the last couple of weeks. I've been mad busy. I didn't even watch the game yesterday. It's the first one I missed in a minute. But yeah, I think.
And when you doing your next live, Bruce? When you doing your next live?
I was gonna do it tonight, but I've got to go and do some bits and bobs. So I'm doing it tomorrow.
Yeah, you lot subscribe to Bru-C's channel, man, because he just popped up the other week doing a live, taking WhatsApp calls and stuff. Yeah. Now. I'll put the link in the chat.
It was mad. It was mad.
Whose number was that, Bru-C? And has he forgiven you yet?
It was my number, man. I was getting all random calls.
Basically, one of my boys who like does my tour management for me, and he's just like on a bit of a PA one. I don't like to call it that because he's my mate. Do you know what I mean? But he helps out with XYZ.
Yeah.
And he had one of the work phones, but he had his SIM card in it. And he was like, "Oh, don't worry, you can use this phone. It's cool." But he'd connected it to his other phone, so every it was crazy. We just put a number in the chat. I wasn't really expecting it to go mad like it did. And like WhatsApp doesn't work on the phone anymore. They blocked WhatsApp were like, you know, whatever activity you're doing on this number, we're not having it, and they blocked the number. So he's not happy. But yeah, we'll be back live tomorrow, man. We'll be back live tomorrow.
Bru-C,
Hey,
before you go
Bru-C.
live, speak to me and I'll show you how to add people without needing WhatsApp, man.
Yeah.
I'll show you the ropes,
Bru-C,
bro.
I ain't got a clue about all that shit.
if you fancy meeting up with the boys just before the game, we generally hang about just at the executive box entrance opposite the Forest fan zone. If that makes sense.
All right,
Yeah, man. Come and say hello, bro.
Wolfie, are you making the trip down from Peterborough? Oh no, probably not. Trains are probably
Yeah.
He can't leave his own face.
I'm still waiting for you to not go and let me borrow your ticket, mate.
Mate, you can come with me. Listen, you can come with me anytime, Goldbridge, when you're ready.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
It's a date.
Yeah,
Man.
man.
I get to be
man.
part of your entourage.
Get you out of that computer chair, mate. Stretch them shoulders. You know what I mean?
Innit?
Do you ever leave that chair, bro?
Bro, you should see my ass print on it, mate. It's deep.
No, don't listen. Chill out with that. Well, listen, hey, Wolfie, send my number to one of these, and yeah, I'll come meet you lot for a pint. Definitely.
Yeah, safe.
Yeah. Let us know.
Hey, we got to link up for a Zoots anyway, bro.
Wait, you do realize you lot have just arranged this meet up in front of like 600 people, yeah? And you're gonna like...
Nah, I'm low key at Forest. Sometimes I do.
Yeah, not gonna do it out of a stadium, bro. I'm gonna do it afterwards, isn't it?
No, we'll go. Mate, I'm meeting up with my mate at 6 o'clock. I'm going straight to the pub, man. I'm getting a good few beers in me before this. This is Christmas for me, bro. Like, this don't come around often. We've got to like, yeah. And if we win, yeah, I'm treating it like a Friday night, mate. It's New Year's Eve.
All right, big man, what's your prediction?
I'm gonna go with the steady 1-0. I want to see the team as we've been playing it, and I do think Moreno should come in. That would be my only change.
You got Moreno in?
Yeah.
Even though he played that yesterday.
He's got that experience. I think that he'll do better with Salah. I think Nico Williams has been great going forward, but I don't know about defensively. But again, you know, he's been great. I'm happy with either. And even if we lose, like I think someone else said earlier, like Liverpool are the only ones with something to lose in this game. Like we can lose this. Even if we get slapped 3-0, like heads high.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
But I do think we'll keep a clean sheet, and I think we could win it.
You know you're jinxing everything here, man. You're jinxing everything.
Don't ask me what you think I'm gonna.
Yeah, but I thought you'd like answer with some sensible answers. You know what I'm saying? Not some.
You know what?
Shit,
usually every game recently, I've been saying, yeah, this is the one. Against Wolves, I was like, yeah, we're gonna get humbled here. They just beat Man U. And then we beat them 3-0, and it's like, yeah, I'm hoping. Hope. Like, how could I not have hope? We've just won 7 on the
You know what I always say is when people ask me how do you think Forest are going to do, I say, well, we'll score a goal and then we'll shut up shop, and that'll be the end of the game. That's it.
Yeah.
That's how we
Yeah,
play.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, we don't need the possession. I think one thing I will say is Wolves were the best, like did the best job of breaking us down, and they could have scored.
Yeah,
They could
did.
have scored. They showed it is
Yeah.
possible to play through us at certain times, and Liverpool definitely have got that ability to do that. And if they do get an early goal, it could. You know when the City ground gets silenced, it's quiet. Do you know what I'm saying? If they get an early goal, it could change the.
You know what? But
trajectory.
I don't think I'd make a difference on Tuesday,
Yeah.
mate. I genuinely don't. I think the fans will be straight behind them.
Yeah.
But don't forget, we got Matt Sells in goal, man.
Yeah, no,
he
he's
ain't,
been
he ain't
unreal,
conceding
man.
goals.
Even
if he did
Miguel,
get past
Miguel looked good yesterday, man. He's
Oh
tall,
no,
isn't
you're Miguel.
Yeah.
Right?
Start
Well,
on that.
Let's start on that.
Did you like
Bruce
it?
Bruce agreed with every point I've made so far.
he? Oh, there you go, mate. You know what I mean?
Well done.
It's
It's
straight
just
away.
Wolfie, it's just Goldbridge I don't agree with over there in the top
All
left.
right, all right. Well, let me ask you the question the chat want to know the answer to.
Cooper don't.
All right, well, let's
I'm
ask you
really
the
rooting for
question,
him.
mate. Let's ask you the question. Do you still hate Nuno?
Not one single bit. I take it all back. Listen,
Bless me.
I remember I was saying to you lot the last time I came on this stream that I thought because he'd been Saudi, he just came Forest for the paycheck and he wasn't bothered. That was my exact words.
Mm.
And it was
They were.
backed up by how uncharismatic he was in every press conference. Every press conference, he's boring me so bad. And I'm just
Do
thinking,
you still think that of him? Do you
No,
still think
not
that
at all.
of him?
No, I take it all back. I take every word back.
That's
That's
Fair
fair
I
enough.
respect
innit?
that.
That's
First
fair
time I've got
enough.
to respect you, man. A man who sees new evidence and changes his mind. Good.
Yeah, not unlike you.
Well, from now on, your best bet is just
He's
to
never
agree
wrong.
with me.
Nah, never. I
No,
didn't say that.
don't do that.
I didn't
But
say
yeah,
I
don't
agree
do
with you.
Shout out to another fellow YouTuber, Matt SB's in the house as well. Make sure you
Legend.
subscribe to
Matt.
him. I've put Bru-C's link pinned to the chat. Go show him some love. He's got 2 subscribers, so we need to get him up
Yeah,
into
get the
double
subscribers
figures.
up, boys. Get me a few coffees as well, lads. Don't forget me. Do you know?
Get him the coffees in as
Oh,
well.
yeah. Is he on the
Yeah,
coffee
man.
thing? All right, then.
Yeah. Right, boys, I'm gonna shoot.
Good to
Nice
see you,
one,
Bru-C.
Oh, yeah,
man. We'll
chuck
see you
my
later,
number to
bud.
one of these, lot, and give me a shout, and I'll link you on Monday. I'm
Yeah.
safe.
All right, mate.
Tuesday.
Will do.
All right. Nice
Cheers.
one.
Yeah, cheers.
Bru-C.
Yeah,
That
man.
is the legend Bru-C. Much love to him. And he's Jinx Forest. I wish he just didn't come on, to be honest, man.
He's a legend.
I wish he didn't. Yeah, I just want to say a proper shout out to Matt. Channel well on its way to 100K,
man.
100K. We got to change his name from Matt SB to Matt SB 100K FC, man. He's absolutely flying. We got to do something with Matt. We ain't done anything with him for ages, boys.
We got to get you
We
in.
ain't done anything for ages. So massive shout
Well,
out to.
seeing as he's doing similar videos to you, as in Forest for the title, then I think we ought to have him on.
Yeah. Let's get on
Anyway,
Matthew free.
you were actually asking me a question. You'd actually asked me a question. So
Yeah,
I'd
but
like to
Brucey's more important.
Oh no! I've got no problem with Bruce coming on.
Well, I can't remember what the question was. Wait, before we
question
can do that
was-
question, hold on.
Go
We're
on,
on 236 likes. We should be well over 250, guys. So hit that like button. I just want to say a massive shout out to Phil as well with the $20, saying Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. New Zealand time. Take no prisoners, no F's given. Phil's up for it. Phil is up for it. Shout out to Phil. Thank you so much, Phil. All right, what was the question?
3-4-3. 3 at the back or 4 at the back was the question, and my answer was going to be very simple. I don't really care whatever Nuno thinks is best. I do think he'll go 4 at the back. No, I do think he'll go because fact is we're going to defend anyway for most of the time. So it doesn't matter whether so everybody's going to be back anyway. But I do think he'll go 4 at the back. That's what I think he'll do, and I've got no issue with that at all.
Just on that, Matt, if you're free and jump on for 5, jump on. But I do want to do a proper stream with you. But just WhatsApp me if you're free. It'd be good to get an outsider's thoughts on it.
Semi-outsider.
Yeah. All right. I want to talk about everyone's favorite second manager here, and that is Arne Slot. Is he
Arnold?
And by the way, for the Wogs, I'm being sarcastic on it, right? Are we living rent free in his head? Is this our biggest weapon on Tuesday? Go on, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, the interviews he put out after the last loss against us it was all about us. he was basically, he couldn't comprehend how little old Nottingham Forest, aka one of the biggest football teams in the world, had somehow managed to turn over his beloved Liverpool. And that is going to go against him, because if he doesn't respect us and he doesn't respect the way we play, if he thinks he can go out there and thrash us, it's not going to happen. And I know I always say, but he just looks like Humpty Dumpty, and I can't stand looking at him. He looks like an egg. And I play a lot of Warzone, right? And when you get no kills, it's called an egg. And every time someone gets an egg, it reminds me of Arne Slot, and it really pisses me off. So I can't stand it. I hope we turn them over. I hope we beat them 3 or 4-0. It's probably not going to happen, but I cannot stand how much disrespect he gave to Forest after we beat them last time. It was almost like, how can this little team have beat us, little old Nottingham Forest? Well, I tell you what, not just him, all the teams around us should have some respect for us this season, and they should have respect for us from here on out, because I think we're going to do well every season from now on. So he needs to
get through this season, bro.
He needs to get back in his chicken cage and lay some more eggs, because I think, we could do a job on them on Tuesday. It's slightly controversial because I said I thought we'd lose 2-0 earlier, but Bru-C's given me some more confidence.
Oh, I mean, you know what? Thing with me was his comments. He actually seemed offended that they'd lost to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
It's like, get a grip, man. But this is it. We need to teach him a lesson, and we have been rent free in his head ever since. So Tuesday night in his yolk since the last game. But I love that fact. But the fans know, their fan base know that we propose an actual threat to them, and I think he's trying to play it down and trying to say that we're not in it. I've said it already. I'd love nothing more to get one over on them on Tuesday night, because we owe him for last season anyway, regardless of anything else that's happened. We owe him for last season, so let's just level that up and pull one back. But for me, he's actually hyped it up for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been as annoyed about it if it hadn't been for his comments. So yeah, let's keep in his head, in his yoke, and let's make Tuesday night scramble him on Tuesday night. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Come on, that's a tumbleweed moment. That is a tumbleweed.
Sorry.
Pretty good.
Scramble the slot on Tuesday night.
Let's scramble him.
So am I alone that I actually hated Klopp more? I really didn't like Klopp with his teeth and everything. It's just
with his teeth and everything.
I really dislike that guy.
Rob, you can't just hate someone because they got better teeth than you.
Come on,
bigger teeth, not necessarily better, but definitely bigger.
We definitely
as big as Klopp's teeth, though. Come on,
that's what we're talking about. Klopp's teeth.
Oh, sorry,
I had to bring Klopp's teeth into the equation.
But but do you think, Rob? Do you think that he's going to come into this game arrogant?
No. Yeah. I honestly think that deep down, he's going to be worried about this because they dropped a couple of points against Man United at home, and it's all set up for them to stumble. And he knows that Liverpool have been top 7 times and 6 times, 7 times at Christmas and 6 times they haven't actually got on to win the title. And everybody's waiting for it, and everybody's waiting with bated breath for them to have a pratfall. And this is possibly their biggest test. I know it sounds ridiculous to say it, but it's possibly their biggest test between now and the end of the season.
What's happening to us? What's going off here? How come we're Liverpool's big this game? What's happening? I mean, it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying what's happening here?
I know, but it is ridiculous to say. But I mean, the thing is, like, let's put it this way: if he went and lost at Arsenal, or he went and lost at Man City, that the humiliation of losing at Forest is great, if you like, and it's handing points directly to a title rival. And also, he knows that everybody's going to be back in the underdog. So, like I say, they've got everything to lose and nothing to gain. And it wouldn't. So this is coming back to the tactical point of this, right? We're thinking about what's the best way to contain Salah. Somebody said very rightly in the chat that Salah doesn't track back. How are they going to contain Nico Williams? They need Liverpool need to be looking at this thinking in terms of how do we contain Forest's attacking threat, which is sort of new territory.
Rob, do you know what I would actually do there? I'd put Aina on that side for two reasons. One, I think Aina is better defensively than Nico Williams. And two, Aina's pace and his skill that he can get the ball up the wing. I think we need to target Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think he's a weak link at the moment. In
that and that's where we will be attacking.
He might not play. He might not play, by the way. He played last night. He might not play. He didn't play the other game.
60 minutes. I think he played just over an hour yesterday.
But
the game before, but the league game before, he didn't play. He came on late. They had Connor Bradley.
The league game before was Man U, wasn't it?
I think he's got one eye on it. I think he's got one eye on leaving. I don't think he's 110%.
This is what I mean.
Oh, he's got both eyes on leaving, mate.
He's got both eyes on leaving, and it definitely will affect them. Their dip is coming, and these transfer talks. I've said this on the last stream. These transfer talks that are so far away from being closed, like Mohamed Salah said already, that they're millions of miles away from his contract talk. Trent Alexander's head's definitely been turned. That Man U performance was atrocious. How he even stayed on the pitch for as long as he did. And then Connor Bradley isn't the finished article. He's decent. He's probably better going forward than he is defensively. But that is where I would be looking to attack Liverpool down our left hand side, down their right hand side, 100%. But talking about Mohamed Salah, and I don't want to jinx it, but he's not been great against us. No, but I don't know what his record is, but he hasn't been great against us. So let's just carry on with that. I'm more positive about us getting a result than them getting anything out of this game. The pressure is 100% on them. They're in that situation right now where any points dropped just opens the door for anybody else coming. And the only other team that I'd be worried about really is Newcastle, who are in a similar vein of form as us. We're the best formed team in the league. We've got nothing to fear going into this game.
The big difference between us and Liverpool and Newcastle and Liverpool is that Liverpool are a good team on paper, right? Statistically, they have very good players, but our team and Newcastle are like a gelled team. In the same way that the FA Cup yesterday, you can tell they're all on this same wavelength, and I don't think Liverpool have got that. I think there's some.
I think that the contract situation is affecting them. They don't. I agree with what you're saying. They don't seem quite as connected, and I think that could be due to the fact they've got 3 players trying to sort out contracts. That's got to have an effect on any team. It really has. So I reckon that. I've said this all along.
And just last point on Nico Williams now.
I'm not worried about Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City. I'm worried about Forest. If we keep our momentum going and we play to the best of our ability, we'll be okay. Because other teams will drop points.
Yeah,
they will. Liverpool. I've seen Liverpool quite a few times this season. In some of their games, they've not been impressive. They've got over the line, which is great, but they've not been, like the Man City teams of the past. It just used to steamroller everybody. They're not that. They definitely get atable. And I think that we're the kind of team that they would hate to play.
Yeah.
And I agree with Zane here. I think that's why I kind of raised my eyebrows what you said, Ben. Like,
yes, I agree.
Their worst player is Robertson. He's been terrible. He's been terrible. The spotlight has been on Trent. Robertson's been getting almost a free pass by the mainstream media. He has been atrocious.
Well, Hudson-Odoi beat him for the goal, didn't he? Hudson-Odoi ghosted past him for the goal.
I can't remember. Was it him?
Yeah, it was after he came.
What was he doing on that side?
No, it wasn't.
It would have been Trent.
He came on, and Hudson-Odoi just went past him for the goal. He lost Hudson-Odoi.
That's not how the goal was scored. The goal was scored from Langer's cross-field ball, and he's cut inside, and it definitely wasn't Robertson.
I think it was Bradley, wasn't it? Was it Bradley?
It was either Bradley or it was Konate. It was one of the centre backs.
Yeah, there you go.
Look it up on YouTube. Was it?
Have you been dreaming the outcome of Tuesday night? That was happening.
Rob,
if you have a look. We spoke about the Man U game. If you look at the Fulham game as well, when Fulham got back into the game, all that attack was down that side. That's why I'm saying that's where they're weakest, and I think that's where they're most get atable as well. But just last point on Nico. Now we've seen Nico playing a back.
We'll never know.
And back four, and he's been suspended. And when was probably the toughest test. sorry, Mbeumo was probably his toughest test of the last few weeks, but we kept clean sheets throughout. I think we need to put to rest whether he can defend or not. I think he defended fine. I think Nico's defending fine. I don't think we need to drop him.
Your voice went like 2 times
It
speed.
was quite funny. You froze and then it went
Like,
speed up. Yeah. And Rob, are you reacting yourself here?
I think most of us are in a situation now where we've got such good players, defensive players, that we don't mind which formation we play, and we're also quite open to putting him in there and him in there. I think the only we know that Aina, Milenkovic, and Murillo are rock solid. We know that. So the left back, I think most of us don't mind whether it's Nico or Marino.
I do.
Is that true?
I do. I mind. I'd much rather have Williams because I don't think Moreno's had the game time recently.
I think for me, I agree. I think it was what Rob said. Attacking wise, Nico Williams looked really good. I always worry about his physicality defensively, but what he does well for me defensively is his IQ level has increased. Like he plays the space better. He plays the man better. He still does get done sometimes around the back. Pause. And those things.
I think he was diving in a lot last season, especially on the right-hand side.
Brennan Johnson back, are we?
I think Nico was guilty of diving in a lot, especially last season, and especially playing up right back. But I don't see him doing that when he's playing up the left, and I do think he's got that threat going forward. I just see some really good link ups with him.
Your internet keeps dropping.
You guys carry on.
He's chopped. But I want to just the point Ez made earlier on about when we beat them, was it 1-0 at the City Ground? And how Nico Williams did pocket Salah. Now, that was the Nico Williams who was at the time in and out of a Cooper team. That was a Nico Williams who that season probably played the worst right-back performance I've ever seen against Blackpool.
That's Steve Cooper, mate.
Yeah, but no, my point is Nico Williams has come on leaps and bounds since that game. And in that game, he did pocket Salah. An informed, confident Nico Williams could be a bit of a game changer.
I'm sorry, but I've got to take some positivity from this because that is the game where I saw Nico Williams the next day at the petrol station, and I went up to him and I said, "You were shit last night," and ever since then he's been brilliant. It was literally that Liverpool game.
Wait, he was good at that game.
He
was man of the match, man. What are you talking about?
I didn't know what else to say to him.
Yeah, rewind that. I think rewind that one.
Came in your head.
All right, let's get into some score predictions. By the way, we will be live at 10. I'll be over with the Copish boys, but it will be here as well on FFTV. So it'll be a dual stream. These lot will probably be in bed. So yeah.
Well, if it's Copish boys, I might.
I've got Cyberpunk 2077 to get back to.
I don't know. You haven't been invited, to be honest.
For this.
Okay, well, that's all right.
You haven't been invited, but I'm sure they wouldn't say no. So we'll be live at 10 a.m. to do
to watch it. To watch it. I meant to watch it.
Are you going to watch it? Are you? Okay. I'll do the heavy lifting. No worries, boys. But let's get into some score predictions. Get your score predictions in the chat. There's 550 of you in here. And we're on 268 likes. Let's get over 300. If you want this preview at 10 p.m. on a school night as well, technically, we need 300 likes. Rob, kick us off, mate. Oh my god, the chat putting some crazy scores in.
1-0. It'll be like the Spurs game. 1-0. To us.
All right, just checking. I don't want come if we lose 1-0 be like, well, I said 1-0. I just want to make sure we're clear.
Like all those times we beat them. Like all those times we beat them 1-0 at the City Ground previously, it's going to be another 1-0.
Go to Crypto next. Go to Crypto because he's going to predict a loss for Forest.
I was going to go around that way. Go
to him next because he's going to predict a loss.
I'm going to go 2-0.
To who?
The team in red.
Which will be Forest.
That's Forest then because Liverpool won't be playing in red.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Crypto.
I'm going 2-0 Liverpool.
See, I told you don't go to him last.
But I thought you said Bru-C came on here and made you feel more optimistic.
Yeah, Bru-C convinced me that we were going to win 1-0, and then Rob's talked me out of it again.
What, by saying we're going to win 1-0?
Yeah, I can't agree with Rob. I can't agree with Rob.
So let's just
Yeah.
move. Let's not try work
Not
out his
lethal.
walk logic. Just move on.
Right,
Yeah,
I'm going to
okay.
stick to my right. So this is 7 games in a row. You've gone with your 0-0s. I've gone with my 2-1s. I'm going to stick to my 2-1. 8 games.
Well, you
in a
haven't
row.
been right. What are you talking about?
Yes, but we've been winning. So I've been going 2-1. Like you've been going 0-0. You knob. I'm not going to change that.
That,
I'm not
no,
gonna
that,
change
you
that
can't. You
Liverpool
can't
game.
copy my thing, man.
All right, I've got the facts. I've got the stats. Just go and have a
Ez,
look on.
you can do what you like, mate. Don't let him
Yeah, I
bully
can do
you.
what I
You
like.
can do
You
what you
told me.
like.
We're gonna win 2-1.
I was
You can't steal
supporting
my thing, man. All right, I'm
Yeah,
not
you
going to go
want your
0-0
thing.
then. I'm not going to go 0-0 then.
No, whoa. No, you got to stick to 0-0.
Oh, now you care if I go 0-0, yeah? I don't care if you don't go 2-1.
Don't change anything. Don't change anything. 2-1.
Well, let me
fine.
ask the chat. Would you rather I stuck to 0-0 or Ez sticks to 2-1? Oh, let's do a
Both
poll
things
on
have
that.
been
Or the
working.
third option, don't give a shit.
We're not mutually exclusive, man. Come on, man.
Wolfie, you knob.
See what he's saying there's 1-0.
No, 2-1.
So,
2-1.
all right, go,
man.
go on, man.
Oh, sorry.
doing a poll.
I'm going to go 1-0 to Forest because
You're
we'll
it.
score a goal. We'll score a goal and then we'll just defend it to the end. That's it. No problem.
I wish you'd said something slightly longer. Like, seriously, first time
Oh,
in
sorry.
like 4 years, I'm
you're
trying to
giving
do
them
the
open
poll,
mic.
and you decide to shut up after 10 seconds. If I knew the formula to that, man, seriously.
Do we know
Serious.
who the ref is? Do we know who the ref is on Tuesday night? Not that it should matter, but it tends to.
Well,
Yeah,
after last
Stuart-
time they're
Stuart-
cheating.
Stuart Twatwell. That's why I think we're losing 2-0.
Is it really?
No, it
it's
can't be.
not.
It's
No,
never
it's
going to be.
not.
No
It's
way.
Ben that
Ben.
said it. What, are you kidding?
Let me find out.
Just ask the chat, they know.
No, I know.
Yeah.
What do you want to know? It's
Who the ref is.
Chris Kavanagh is the referee. The assistant.
don't like
Stuart
him.
Burt,
No,
James
he's all right.
Manning.
No, he's all right.
Fourth official is John Busby. VAR is John Brooks. Assistant VAR is Derek Eaton.
Wait, what about wait? Wow, sounded like a freaking
Wow.
muppet.
Like, what's up, Kermit?
Wait, so do we have any beef with the ref? I'm being serious here. Do we have
No,
any?
Cavanagh's a good one. Cavanagh's a good one.
No, I can't. No, it's probably crap though.
No,
I know who
he's
it is. I know who it is.
This
but-
is on vast, says Gary.
Keeps on,
No, we want him
No.
as the ref. We want him as the ref,
No.
man. That's what we want.
keeps on coke, not on VAR.
Can we say that? Allegedly. Do you have to put
Allegedly. Shut that word
No,
allegedly.
he is. I don't give a shit. Let him sue me.
Just say allegedly, man. It covers our backs for anything.
But I
Yeah.
like to live on the. I
Okay,
like
you
to
can
live on
sue
the
Ant.
edge.
Oh, no.
Sue Ant all you like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. This guy was the ref at Liverpool's 3-0 against us.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but
I don't like it.
that was Matt Turner's blunder, wasn't it, for the third
No,
goal?
that was the ref. That's the ref.
Oh,
We
and then
definitely-
Ez's fact about Salah doing it, he scored in that game. Matt Turner got the assist. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but that's Matt Turner, isn't it?
I
I
can't
don't
even
know.
remember us losing 3.
Oh, you remember
Yeah,
Matt
I
Turner
remember
went to
the
clear
3-0.
it and missed
I'm
it
going to
completely
I've wiped it from my
last
memory.
year.
Yeah,
Last
I
year.
can't
We
even
lost
remember
3-0.
that. Seriously, I've got no memory of us
Yeah,
losing.
you don't want to
3-0
remember it, man.
It
It
was
was
early
painful.
last season.
3-0, yeah.
That can't have happened. That can't have happened. I can remember us winning 2-0 in the European Cup first round, first leg. I remember that.
All right. So in the poll, me versus Ez, 73% would like me to stick to my prediction, and 23% are backing my brown brother down there, man.
I don't know what that poll even means.
It means no one cares if you predict 2-1.
Yeah, no
mate.
one
That's what
cares.
it means. That's what
Well, I'm
it
sticking
means.
to my 2-1.
All right. So my prediction, I will tell you all lot tomorrow on the match preview.
God. Oh, we can't wait. What's it going to
Oh,
be?
maybe
I've
0-0.
got- I'm actually thinking of changing it.
No!
No, don't you?
What are
That's
you
the whole
doing, man? You
point.
don't ever believe in this crap, man.
Even Ants believe in it now.
Right. I
Yeah,
got
even I'm believing in it. You
Why
can't
would you
change it now.
anything?
I've
Why
got an
would you-
idea. I need to test it
Your
out.
fault we lose. You.
Oh,
Your
why did he
fault.
test out against Southampton?
No, we have to beat Southampton.
Bro, you could have tested it out against Luton in the cup.
I was thinking of doing
I've
that,
got-
but he's gonna kill me, man.
You
I've got some
you know
more.
why, Ed? You know why he didn't
No,
do
you
it? 'Cause
can't.
he got bullied by the
Well,
chat.
there's no need
That's
for
why
that.
he didn't do it.
I did. They scare
I've
me,
got,
man.
I've got some more bad news for you. This ref
there we
is a
go.
guy who sent Morgan Gibbs White off and Nuno at Brighton.
We're screwed then. We're screwed.
No, we're
We're screwed.
not. He's going to
No,
make
we're
up
not.
for it. He's felt bad about it ever since. He's going to make up for it tomorrow, Tuesday.
All right, let's do one final question, and we've got bloody hell, gone an hour and a half here. One final question. Get those likes up, chat. We're 20 away from 300. Get it done. Wasler with the £2 says, "Take care, guys. 2-0 on Tuesday." And then he confirms to who? He says, "To us." A lot of twos in there, Wasler. Thank you so much,
Oh my
buddy.
God.
Maybe it's a sign. All right, last question. It's the traditional one. Yeah. Are we in the title race? Arsenal look like they're ropey. Forest 7 in a row. Who's the other team? Liverpool drawing with Manchester United. What are you saying, Rob?
Well, I've already said if we win this game, we're in a title race. So therefore, we're in one now before we play it.
So why did you add the first bit?
That makes no sense.
No, but there's a lot of people who are saying if we win this game, we're in a title race. Well, that means you're in one now, then, doesn't it?
That's like that's like you
No.
saying if you won the general election, you'd be in a title race to become the next prime minister, which is just not going to happen.
We are in a title race. I've given my answer. And in fact, whatever the result of this game, we're still in one because there's still another 18 games to go after this, 17 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Rose, tonight's in an hour and a half. So it'll be on FFTV. Okay. Everyone in the chat's saying yes. Do you know the amount of abuse I got at the start of the season for daring to predict Forest to finish 8th, man? Imagine I had said freaking win the league. My God, the daggers.
Steady on. We're halfway through the season. Don't count your chickens just yet.
I ain't saying nothing, right? I'm talking in the here and now. And are we in a title race?
I'll give the same answer as I gave on the previous stream, which is we're in the title race until we're not.
What does that mean?
Well,
It means that currently, why shouldn't we consider ourselves to have a chance of winning the title? Because we're equal second in the table, and if we continue this way, then we have a chance. So, but at some point, we may drop off if we get injuries and whatever, which could happen to anybody, not just us. So at some point, you realise, well, maybe we should just be aiming for top 4. Yeah.
You're just given every scenario, basically, that could be, not your actual opinion.
That is why I'm always right, in one way or another.
Yeah, it can't be wrong.
Wouldn't that necessitate that you're always wrong as well?
It does, but we don't speak on that.
The thing that scares me is that Owen is saying we are in a title race. Mr. Cooper himself, right? Mr. Cooper Backer right here is saying we're in a title race, and that worries me, Owen. You, Owen, you alone are now making me nervous about Tuesday, right? Because you're lifting my hopes. You're lifting my hopes. As title race, yes or no?
100%. And like Ant says, until we're mathematically out of it, we're in title race.
You're just giving yourself a trap door there. That's all you're doing.
No, but we're chasing down the scouts.
Like it,
we're not chasing down.
All right. Let me flip the question on you. Are we going to win the title?
Yeah.
Until we don't, or we are?
No, we are going to win the title because we're chasing down the Scousers.
And Arsenal.
Man,
No,
he's
the
finally
Scousers.
showing us that hairy chest, man.
We'll self-implode, man. Don't worry about Arsenal.
They have
Yeah, I'm
already.
not worried about Arsenal. I'm not worried about Arsenal. There's only Liverpool and Newcastle that I'm worried about.
Newcastle scared the crap out of me. They're playing fantastic football. They really are.
They only need one injury as well.
Okay, but how many points behind us are Newcastle? I mean, Newcastle are
Five.
they're 5 points behind us. So if they're in a title race, then we definitely are.
They're not saying they're in a title
They're
race.
not
They're
saying
saying they're in a top 4 race. Well, at least the loaded mag boys.
I don't think anybody apart from Forest fans are saying that they're in a title race.
Yeah.
Because Arsenal
Chelsea
fans
are denying
aren't
it,
saying
aren't
that.
they?
Are you
Chelsea
joking
fans
me? Everyone is trying to put us in a title. Have you seen all these freaking sudden
No.
channels
What
that have popped up saying Forest in title race?
What I'm saying is Chelsea don't think they're in a title race.
Yeah, they're
Arsenal
pussies.
don't think they're any longer in a title race.
Yeah.
Newcastle don't. The only fans that do,
Is
or
us.
the only team that people think could be, are Forest.
And rightly so.
Yeah.
And rightly so. Why are we forgetting
why?
about this run that we're on?
Do you know
Because
why?
we're
Because we've done it
The
before.
players we've got to come back. The players we're hopefully going to sign in January as well.
I just feel more comfortable as if we got good striker in.
I would as
Because
well.
I worry
But
about Chris Wood getting injured.
And I'm also looking at the fact that we've got most of these big teams to play at home. We still got all that to come. So
yeah, but I'm not worried about the other big teams. I'm only worried about Liverpool
I'm
and
not. But I'm
Newcastle.
just saying how many factors are playing in our favor.
Yeah, he's gone again.
For
He's
this
gone
again. An amazing season, or like Crypto says, something special is going to happen this year, and it will. Whatever happens to that one, it's going to be special.
He went like double speed.
Unbelievable. Sorry.
And what lovely timing. Jess, good to see you back in the chat. Jess, hope you're well with the £2. She says, higher wood contact update. Now, Jessica, I told you, I can't give you his number, right? All right. I've told you that already.
Contract.
If you talk about his contract, Jess.
On a totally different subject, his contract.
Then, yes, the signs are good. However, I expect Einar's to be resolved before Chris Wood's. From what I'm hearing, okay? And as I've said to you guys before, I've been told, don't worry about Einar. It's fine.
Jinxed it.
It ain't me jinxing that one, mate. It ain't me jinxing. Let's get to see about everyone. Say hi to Jess in the chat. Show us some love. Show us some love. All right. Ben.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, I think we're in a title race, but for me, Tuesday is massive because if we were to lose, Liverpool would be 9 points ahead with a game in hand. So you could call that 12 points. Then I think it's too much. Like that, that's four games behind, 4 wins behind. So Tuesday is basically the biggest game of the season for us, as far as I see. So if we can go out there and beat them on Tuesday, then that really does open things up for the rest of the season.
Well, let me back
to what I said earlier. Sorry, Crypto, back to what I asked earlier. If it's the biggest game of the season, is this not the biggest game of your Forest support?
No, because the biggest Forest game of my life was the promotion at Wembley.
Like I said, what was that promotion for? To get us to this level?
Oh no, Eds, that day.
Yeah, but that day was just amazing.
Without that, we'd be nowhere. We wouldn't be playing Liverpool.
And that's why Ant thinks Steve Cooper is such a legend, and I agree with him.
Yeah, but I'd go a step further. I'd roll it back one game. The biggest game that season for me was Sheffield.
No, that was the most cathartic moment. That wasn't.
And how much IQ has Morgan Gibbs-White got to purposely miss that penalty to know we'd go to the Premier League, he'd sign for Forest, he'd go on to play for England. I mean, this guy's got the highest IQ I've ever seen.
He did it all in preparation for Tuesday night. That's what it was all.
Exactly.
All right. What I have to ask, I know I said one last question, but this will be the last question. Rob, who does the draw favour more? Good question, yeah. Good question. Chat.
Well, that makes it quite a likely result, actually, doesn't it?
I think it does.
It's definitely Forest.
Yeah, because if they win, like Crypto said, if they win, they're away.
12 points out. A draw, we're just as we are now. It doesn't.
Yeah, nice answer, Rob.
I don't know.
Rob, take 25 minutes to answer a simple question.
He's only got
I would take a draw, actually. I would probably take a draw.
Would you? If we were 1-0 up,
knowing that we
take a draw.
If you said to me that you're going to take 4 points off Liverpool in any season, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, fair. I'll take 6 points off him. I'll take 6 points off him.
He's doing that thing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Am I?
I'm about to take 6 points off him. I can't even talk as fast as you're talking.
You can't, can you? It's impossible.
So what are you saying, Rob? Who does it favour?
I don't know.
You don't know. You're sitting on the fence.
It's only enough. He wants to go home.
Yeah, well, tough. Well, you're all answering this one. And Mr. Renowned Fencer, what are you saying?
No, I've already answered it. I think it benefits us.
Yeah.
Hang on. No, whoa. No, yeah, it benefits us. As long as we don't fucking lose, is what I'm trying to say.
Obviously,
we can't do. We can't lose. So if we can't lose, then a draw must benefit us.
Of course, it benefits us. If we draw, we're still only 6 points behind, and there's 17 games of the season left. A draw benefits us more than Liverpool.
I think it benefits them more.
Why?
No,
because they've got the game in hand. They've
got the game in hand anyway.
I'll tell you now, from the Liverpool boys I've been speaking to, and we'll see what Kopish say tonight.
Yeah,
I think this is their hardest game of the season. And I think if they left the City ground with the draw, with their historical record, ignore last year because we know they cheated.
They'd be happy.
Okay, so if they're going to be happy with the draw,
so
does
would
that
we.
not... So do we just not play the game and say we take a point each?
No,
would you not
we
take
both
that?
want to win, don't
I don't think Arne
you can't
Slot
choose.
would be happy with
You
the
can't
draw.
pick and choose what you want to do. You go out there and you try to win. But a draw for us would keep us within spitting distance, and a draw for them would keep them 6 points plus a game in hand ahead.
I don't think
You're
Arne
back in the same position. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, but if
Whereas
Arsenal...
if Liverpool lose, they are still 3 points above us with a game in hand, so it's not as damaging to them. But
there's
if
not
we
two
lose,
teams in the league, Ant. If Arsenal
There
beat
are.
Spurs, that goes down to 4 points.
it doesn't matter. They're all shit. Apart from Newcastle and Liverpool, the rest of them are so inconsistent. They're shit. I'm not worried about it.
Players like Havertz.
People accuse me to being an Arsenal fan. We can finish above Arsenal this season. I've got no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I agree.
You know, the thing that scares me and the worst situation that could possibly happen is we get equal points as Liverpool and don't win on goal difference.
Don't say that.
Let's not worry about that right now. Let's not worry about that right now.
Don't say that. That would break my heart. That would literally shatter me, man.
No, I tell you what would be as devastating is if we finish fifth, qualified for European Cup, and then some
Man United.
the FA Cup, like Man U won the FA Cup, took our place.
No, we're
That won't
going
matter. FA Cup won't matter. It's Europa. But
I guarantee you.
I think Europa. You know what I'm saying? If another club,
however, people are
steps in
telling me
and-
that they've changed the rules again to allow up to 7 teams. So I need to research into that.
Because Chelsea should have been in UEFA Europa Cup Europa League last season.
That's because the FA Cup has the Europa spot.
Yeah,
So-
and they got shifted down to the conference.
I was looking at this the other day. We're in a similar position to what Villa were at this stage of last season. But does anyone remember what happened to them at the end of last season? They literally crawled over
fell
the
apart.
line.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Lost 5-0 on the last day of the season.
their last 4 games were lost, draw, I think.
So they lost the last game 5-0.
Yeah, they took 2 points out of the last 4 games. So what I'm saying is that we've actually, considering that we're in the position we're in, mathematically, we've got the space there to have a little bit of a wobble. So and I don't see one coming at the minute, but we can probably survive one. As long as it isn't a sort of injury-based wobble where we've lost.
And also,
them.
Rob, we were, I think, roughly when Clarkey did this, finished third. At this stage of the season, I think we had a bit of a wobble and dropped down to 6th, and we had less points than we do now. I think we're on 36.
No,
points.
we never dropped outside the top 5. That was one of the stats of that season. We never.
All right, then we dropped
outside.
down to 5th. What I'm saying is we weren't 3rd, right?
Yeah.
But I think we did, I think we dropped to 6th.
But you could make a different comparison and say who had 20 games in, 40 points, and won the title.
But my point is we're in a better position
We're in
now.
the same position as Leicester City were.
How many points did we finish on, chat? I think it's like 77, 78 points, something like that. So
I've
if
got a
we got
question for
77
everybody.
points this season, that pretty much nails on Champions League.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we are-
Champions League, that is.
We are
That's
talking about
definitely Champions League,
27-point return, where we already picked up 40, about roughly 40 in the first half. So we don't even need to do as well as we did in the first half. The hard work's been done, and the big boy teams are coming to the City ground. Most of them are. You know what I'm saying?
I've got a question for everybody. It might say, on the surface, it might seem a stupid question, but have a little think. Would you rather finish in the Europa spot or the conference spot? Because obviously you do have a chance of, because you have a chance of winning the conference, and then the next year go to Europa anyway.
Yeah.
Europa, it's
why
very easy
can't
to come
we
out
win the
very
Europa
early
League?
on.
Why can't
I
we
like
win?
that, Rob. I like that.
No,
I'd rather finish in the Champions League.
why can't we win the Europa League?
Why
I
can't
don't
we win the
think it's-
Champions
Let's
League? We've
not-
done it
let's be
before.
fair.
No,
I
that's why
I don't want to-
that's why I say,
I
why
don't
not
want to
win
upset-
this, and this? We
I
all
don't
want to win this, and this. You've got to be realistic, Rob. The teams in the Europa League are far, far, far higher standard than the teams in the conference. So therefore, you stand up.
Are
much
they
higher
higher
I know, but Adam,
winning
but being realistic,
European silverware.
Right. So, couple of things. Firstly, I don't want to upset Evangelos Marinakis because I know just how much that Olympiakos winning the conference meant. But come on, when West Ham won the conference a few years ago, did anybody take that seriously? I don't
Jace
think so.
did. Jace was
Wilfred will
crying.
tell you. Wilfred will tell you. I never stopped complimenting the West Ham fans and saying, "Well done. That's a
Yeah,
fantastic
and
achievement."
off screen, he was like, for God's sake, man.
You lot were saying they won a trophy.
Because I
from
knew
IKEA.
that one day that
IKEA
might
trophy.
be me on the receiving end.
Second thing, by the way, has anybody looked at the Dutch league recently? Because Feyenoord are in 4th, and our man Santiago Jimenez has actually got a better chance of Champions League football by leaving Feyenoord and coming to Forest.
Well, do you want to know what's more scary than that? And shout out to what Jonathan has said in the chat. Olympiacos are top of the Greek league by 3 points. So they will get a chance. In the Greek league, if I'm not mistaken, they have to qualify still to get into the Champions League. There is a rule that owners cannot have 2 competing clubs in the same competition. Yeah,
unless you're Man U, like Nice and Man United in the Europa Cup.
Yeah, and they had to put the brown envelopes out to stop that one, claiming that he didn't own Man U when they qualified and what have you, right? So not to scare anyone, yeah. And we don't mind Olympiacos here, do we, boys? It's like it's Greek father's team. You know what I'm saying?
Owned by NF Investments. That's not quite the same. They've already got a holding company that isn't. I would think they might be able to make a legal challenge to whether the ownership was
Money
the
talks.
same.
Money talks. Simple as.
I think let's hope the Greek father has thought about it. That's all I'm saying.
Would you not be disappointed though now if we didn't get a Champions League spot?
Who do you think? The big question is, who do you think Mr. Marinakis had put through?
Forest.
Forest was exponentially a more profit.
I absolutely 100% agree. But Olympiacos is his city, his town. He doesn't just own the club; he owns everything in Olympiacos, in Piraeus.
He owns Greece, man.
Yeah, so
well, let's cross that bridge when we get it. All right, we are way over time. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. We're back at 10 tonight with the Coppish boys. I'm pretty sure Cal's just sent me a message confirming. So we'll see you then. It will be on this channel and on Coppish as well. So if you want to get more build up and hear the Liverpool perspective, join us at 10 p.m. tonight for a late night stream. Until then, please make sure you've hit the like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And we'll see you in about an hour or so's time. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.
You Reds.